What's up, cousins? It's time for me to update y'all about the spiritual activity that's been going on in my house. Come on, come sit down. Okay, so as y'all know, well, as most of you know, I work night shift at the hospital. And so whenever I'm working night shift, my daughter is with my mom. So my mom called me one night and she's like, hey, yeah, we've been hearing a lot of walking and stuff. So she's still hearing walking, but she said this time it hears like it's coming from the attic. Now, mind you, when I first moved up in here, I made sure that I did this. Hold on. So when I first moved in here, I had the police go up there. I had the landlord go up there because I wanted to make sure that she didn't have any extra things in there that needed to be taken out. But I had the police go up there because I wanted to make sure wasn't nobody squatting up there. Okay? Because cousin don't play that. So fast forward, I ended up being off of work for like 2 days. And while I was off work, I remember I got up to get something to drink and it felt so cold in the kitchen, almost like somebody had the door open. Okay. The heat, it was hot everywhere else, but it felt so cold in the kitchen. And I was like, what the heck? So I turned around and I saw something out the corner of my eye run to the back where the rooms are. So I ended up walking to the back to check on my daughter. I look in her room. She's still knocked out, still sleeping. She seems like she's peacefully sleeping. Doesn't seem like she's having a nightmare. We're good. So I start walking back up front. But while I'm walking to the front, back to the kitchen, I'm praying over the house. And so I'm cleaning out the cup that I just drank out of. And I hear my trash can moving. So I stopped. You know how when you hear something, you just instantly stop all movement? I turned the water off. I stopped moving. And I hear my trash can. It was trash day. I took it out, early that morning and put it at the end of the driveway. And I said, what the heck? But I hear it coming. Like I can hear it being dragged. So I finally go to the door. Of course, I didn't open it right away because who's dragging or taking my trash can? Then I see my neighbor. She has these lights, these detection lights. Whenever somebody moves, her lights come on. And it stopped moving as soon as her lights came on. As soon as it reached my driveway area, the lights came on. I saw it. Then I, of course, kind of like peeked out the front in the blinds and I don't see anybody. And so finally, I was just like, what the heck? So I turned the side light on and I don't see any footprints. It had snowed a few hours before that. So you're going to see some footprints. All I saw were the trash drag marks. That's it. The footprints aren't going to disappear. Come on now. Fast forward, me and my baby girl are having mommy daughter time. And, we're just having a good old time. And kids already say things out of the blue already as it is. And so what she said next kind of, had me, what you talking about? So she was like, yeah. She said, mommy, I don't like when you go to work because she said they make a lot of noise upstairs. Mind you, we don't have a basement. Okay. And we also don't have it upstairs. And so instantly I'm just like, is she talking about the attic? So I said, are you talking about the attic? She's like, yeah, the stairs that come down. Now, mind you, I've never pulled this down around my kid. I didn't even pull it down. I had my landlord and the police officers do it. So my daughter told me, she said, she referred to the spirits as they. So it's multiple spirits. She said they go up there to watch out for the house. I said, okay, I want to know what they're watching out for. I said, do you talk to them? She said, only one. Now, mind you, it didn't hit me until later on what was really going on. I'm going to get to that in a second, though. So when I finished questioning my daughter about the spirits that are up here in the attic, she told me that they are there because they're protecting the house. I said, so it's a lot of them? I said, how many are there? And so she started doing this. And she made it to the number 6. So 6 spirits in the attic. And I was just like, man, I wonder why all of them up there like that. So fast forward, I tell my mom about it. Me and my mom are talking. She prayed. She said, she's like, when I prayed, she said, I didn't feel anything bad. She said, so maybe there's something that's going on and they need to be here at the moment. But my mom also said that she saw this male spirit and this woman spirit like walking back and forth up and down the hall when she opened up the door. And she was like, almost like they're standing guard. And I said, okay, what's going on? They need to tell us something. What's about to happen? Around that time, there was a man on the run. He had unalived a couple people, probably a couple miles from our home, right? And he was still on the run. They hadn't caught him yet. They were saying that they think that he's hiding in the area. And so my mom said that she had a dream that there was a man in her car sleeping. And so I said, you had a dream of a man in your car sleeping? She said, yeah, but that's not the first time I had that dream. She said, I just can't see the man's face. And so I was worried that it was possibly the man who was on the run. And so my mom was like, she's like, we just gonna pray and we just gonna see what happens next, where it goes. So fast forward, my mom calls me and she's like, hey, I got in my car and it smelled like cigarette smoke. And I said, what? I said, were your doors locked? She said, I thought I locked them, but she was like, it smelled like cigarette smoke in my car. My mom does not smoke and she don't allow smoking in her car. Okay. Fast forward, she's taking Simone to school for me, and I get Simone in the car. I go back in the house, and she told me that she saw this man walk from the garage to the side door. I'm still in the house because I just gotten off night shift, so I'm about to be knocked out. So she turned around and she said that she saw this man walk from the garage to the side door. He didn't make eye contact with her. He just stood there and stared straight ahead like he was standing guard. And she said he slowly disappeared and she couldn't see him anymore, but she knew he was right there. Fast forward again, a few days later, this man is caught. Okay. Now my daughter, we don't allow her to watch like the news and stuff. She's young. She's 5. So we don't allow her to watch the news and stuff like that. But a few days later, my daughter was like, oh, all of them are gone. They're gone. She's like, they must have went home. And so I'm like, talking about the spirits. And she was like, yeah, they must have went home. But me and my mom look at the news and they caught the man who had unalived those people and the one who had been on the run. So I think that they were here because he really was hanging around near our home. I really do believe that.